So you've decided to open your relationship up. How do you move forward in a positive way? What are the first steps? I'm here with Erika Capon from the openphotoproject.com, and I'm Cathy Martulli from the intimacydojo.com. Thanks for being here, Erika.
Thanks for having me, Cathy.
Yeah, and I love what you share. We just did a video on what, if you're considering opening up your relationship, what should you talk about? What should you do? And I really love what you shared. You've talked to so many people with the Open Photo Project about their journeys on this and the individual quirks they've run into. So your perspective is great to have.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so interesting because everyone works differently and every relationship is really different. And actually, I think that's a really good kind of starting point for this conversation because with non-monogamy, you know, that can mean so many different things to different people. So laying that out and putting down boundaries, I like to say boundaries instead of rules because it's more about, like, in my mind, I like to think of this about communicating with my partner what I feel comfortable with or what, like, where my uncomfort might start, and put that up rather than, like, you can't do that, this is the rule. Just that's what feels better to me personally.
Yeah, you're not a 3-year-old going, no, I can't touch the cookies. Yeah. It's like...
Well, like, for some, non-monogamy might mean that it's okay to kiss someone, and that's all. And for others, non-monogamy might mean it's okay to go on a date once a week and sleep at the other person's house and have sex and have romance. And, you know, so just to say to your partner without really specifically defining, you know, as detailed as you need of your boundaries can be really, really helpful, you know?
Yeah, and it can, for different people, it can look very different. My best friend and I we're very romantic when we're out together. People ask all the time if we're married, and we're not sexual, but we're very sweet. And I know that a lot of people, their partners would be like, that's not okay, you're so close, you're cuddling together, and you know, that could be a form of an open relationship in its own right. And other people, it might be, it's fine to have sex, but don't fall in love. Someone else might be, you can fall in love, but don't. It's like, you get to write the story as you go.
And I think it's really important with boundaries too, to keep in mind that it's nice if you can have them be flexible, because although, you know, again, all of this is my opinion, of course, and this may not work for some, but I just find the minute you say, well, okay, we can do this, but this is not allowed, you know, this will not happen, you know, life will come up behind you and be like, oh, you think you can plan this? So it's good to have boundaries and honor your boundaries with your partner because you want to be a faithful, trustworthy, like, honorable person, but then to check in and say, oh, you know, that, you know, so for me personally, it was like with one of my relationships, it was like we would have these boundaries and we weren't sure, we didn't want to hurt the other person, but we wanted to test them. So we set a lot of conservative boundaries, well, by some standards. It was about open relationships, so not that conservative.
Yeah, it's all relative.
But then it would be like, okay, we tried these things, we stayed within the boundaries, let's talk about that. How did that feel?
Yeah.
I was surprised by this feeling. I was surprised that I didn't mind this. I was surprised that I didn't mind this. Let's adjust. Can we try loosening up this boundary? Maybe we can do a little bit, something different in that direction. And then always to just have that communication going.
I think that's so brilliant because you're really part of it. It's not just figuring out where the boundaries are, but building the trust. Yeah. Okay, we had this commitment that you were not going to do the thing, and you really wanted to, but you didn't do the thing. So I can, like, if you give your word, I can trust that, and I can feel a little safer that our relationship matters, and then we can try. And starting slow, I think, is really important. Like, it might be like, for the next 2 weeks, let's try. We can each have one date a week, and we're going to make sure we spend time talking about what's coming up, kind of figuring out where our footing is, where are the sore spots, where are things we need to either strengthen the relationship or find ways to work around.
So much of that. And every situation will be different. You know, you might find out, oh, I need to make sure I'm doing something fun on a night that my partner has a date with someone else. Or you might find, oh, I need to make sure that, you know, they come home before I go to sleep. Or, you know, or I need to make sure I connect with them and we do something that bonds us and makes us feel closer after they see someone else so that I feel, you know, secure.
Yeah.
But whatever it is for you, you know, one common thing is that I've seen is so many people kind of, when they open their relationship and they sometimes have like a major self-exploration experience that's like so fantastic, and the love for their partner who they may have been monogamous with before, that said, it's okay with me for you to have this freedom and have these experiences, because I don't want to like stop you from having these enjoyable experiences. That love feeling can be like so huge. And so many people have appreciated their partner and felt like a big swelling in their heart after opening a relationship, because like they get to do this and they get to go back to this person who they also love, and hopefully in an ideal world, like having those trust and boundaries around that can really build something like that.
Yeah, I think it's also really important to realize that if things don't go perfectly smoothly, if you hit a sore spot, that doesn't mean it's not right for you. Like opening a relationship, it's not like it's not necessarily pull the plug kind of thing. Like if you've suddenly found out your partner went out on a date and watched the movie you were supposed to, you had already thought, like maybe you hadn't communicated, but of course we're going to go see Captain America together. Like, how could you see that with this other person? Oh, okay, so we should before I go out, we should figure out what movies that we want to keep sacred. Or we're both going to go out on Tuesday night and see the movie with whoever we're with. So, like, however it works.
It's got to be trial and error. One of the people that I've interviewed, Rebecca the Frisky Fairy.
She's great.
Yeah, she's great. And I think she was saying that, like, she likes to have certain activities that she does with certain people in her life. Like, she has the friend that she goes to Target with. And she... I don't remember what some of the other examples.
Yeah, I have movie buddies. I have they're really good friends for movies. Maybe not so much for having a deep philosophical connection with, but.
And I think we all do that anyway. We have certain friends that we would call on for certain things, but maybe for non-monogamy, if you want to really specify with the partner, like you're the person that I do these things with, and have something that feels unique, and that might make that relationship have a sense of security. But yeah, like you said, it might not feel great the first time. And especially if you're used to monogamy and this is uncomfortable as you feel your way around in the dark, it's totally natural to have feelings and have to readjust and, figure out what's going to feel better.
Yeah, and you can also imagine ahead, like, oh, I was just thinking about it. And if you called your other partner or your other date our pet name for me, like, I would be so mad. Or if you took them to our restaurant where we go on our anniversary every year, and we all get to have those things, and our partner can say yes or no. Yeah. But kind of walking through and like, oh, here's some things that I know would make me really mad, and I'd prefer, like, let's start slow and we can discuss, or this is a bottom line. If you do this, then I'm going to be really angry, or it could hurt our relationship.
One thing that I struggled with, and I think I'm better at it now, I hope, but it's always a process, is putting those boundaries down when you realize what they are and to say them. So sometimes for a while I would say, oh yeah, that's fine. Like,
you wouldn't tell someone that was a problem.
I could be fine with that. And it wasn't like I was trying to like make myself get hurt. I would think either I can be fine with anything, or I would think, well, I don't want, that's I want them to do that, so I don't want to say it. But then ultimately it would become much worse, because I would feel very upset. And if I had only voiced it then, we could have worked something out.
Yeah, so, make some compromise.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I think I've gotten better at, I hope, is just saying things in the beginning, as they come up, or realizing them as they come up and vocalizing them.
I think that's a muscle we build too, and the more we practice it gets easier and easier. And we might find unexpected ways, like, oh, you really want to go to that restaurant that's our anniversary restaurant. Fine, but you can't go on Friday night because it's the night we always go, and don't order the steak dinner we share. Like, maybe there's ways to find out so you can still have something special without limiting other people's freedom. There's ways to play with things.
And hopefully it could make it kind of fun in a game and a flirty little thing to look forward to, rather than
like rules that
maybe some chains that your partner is like, ugh, but just ways that both of you can
feel special.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sharing, Erika. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, there's so much more.
Oh, there's a ton more, but yeah. If people just follow these rules or suggestions, guidelines, whatever, I think they have a really good start to exploring this. So.
Yeah, I guess the only last thing I would say is some of the people who I've spoken with on the Open Photo Project have shared what their boundaries are, what they were in the beginning, and how they changed. And so, you know, it's on the website and on the social media.
Yeah.
If you want to check it out and kind of fish through, there might be something that's useful on the openphotoproject.com or on the Instagram or thing.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Erika. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We'll try to get back to you.
Thank you. Bye.